Okay. Well, I wake up in the morning with my space chats. Okay, that one was not practiced ahead of time and it was supposed to be Bob Dylan. I needs work. I'll come back again and try it next time.
Amazing. Just, just various celebrity impressions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I'm becoming an impressionist. Welcome to 12/12, December 12th portal. Um, Space Chats, Morning Space Chats episode, which is going to be a very special one because we're going to be saying goodbye to Dread Pirate KK's. We're going to be raising a toast to the Midnite Diner and talking about some other really cool stuff. I'm Zadikat Sun Portal, and with me, as always,
Dreadfire.
the
Yay.
yes, Dread Pirate KK. Wonderful, wonderful. It's beautiful, sunny day
Oh,
here. We've
that's
been getting
nice.
some really sunny weather the past couple of days and pretty warm too. It actually warmed up a bit
Oh
because
my gosh.
otherwise we were in full winter, which, as I was talking about, is very spring energy the past few weeks.
We're not mirroring weather this time. It's pretty cold here and it's going to get colder tomorrow,
Oh boy.
but that's all right. Just more excuses to go back and forth over the border to Indiana and erase the erase the boundary. Gotta.
Yeah, perfect. Because we've got some updates, including that. So talk about that epiphany. Oh, you
Yeah,
may
that was
hear.
actually yours. You were the one that had the download. It was because I have been having to go back and forth between here and the pirate ship to make sure, well, to move my stuff, but also because it's been so um it's like record breaking cold spells for this past month or so. And so I've had to, make sure the space heaters are on at night or with the pipes or, maybe when it was really cold, I needed to burn some pellets. And so I've just been like going back and forth, not every day, but for a while it felt like it was about every day. And I have had this on Saturday will be my fifth attempt at installing internet. So there's something else.
Ah,
It's like there's all these things bringing me over to the pirate ship, and then it's like, oh, the internet's not like the people just won't show up, or or they had the wrong address, or like it's just like so weird. Anyway, so
and they're just like 20 minutes away drive away, right, from each other. But
yeah.
the pirate ship is in Indiana and the Midnight Diner is in
Yeah.
Ohio.
Yeah, there you go. I should have mentioned that. Yes. So I am going back and forth over the border multiple times, and you had this bit. You were like, "Oh, you're erasing the boundary, the border of the states." I was like, "Oh yeah," and that's just like a really big theme. I think moving into this. I feel like it's this energetic portal. I don't know if it's the solstice or what it is. Or maybe it's just been in process for a while. It's like, borders are just arbitrary and man-made or whatever. Like the earth doesn't know. So it's like we're all kind of like realizing boundaries are not gonna, or borders or whatever is not really gonna maintain themselves the way they are for a minute. So we'll see. But I'm doing my energetic work on Indiana and Ohio. So.
Which is incredible. And then don't mind if you hear Mike has a cold, so you might hear
Oh,
some coughs in the background
I didn't
occasionally.
hear anything. I didn't hear
Okay, good. So that's at the state level, which is really cool. And then there's stuff happening between the states and Canada where, because of all the tariffs, these indigenous tribes and First Nations tribes decided that those tariffs didn't apply to them and the borders were meaningless to them. So they've been organizing like trade routes amongst themselves that just where it's like this border no longer applies to us. And then as I had a whole episode where I talked about um, Israel, but one of the things I don't think I mentioned was that, um, and speaking as somebody who has family there, and it's dissolving. This is my oracle prediction. It will dissolve. The borders will dissolve somehow. It's already in progress in Israel, and it's going to set the stage for people to think people on a broader scale to think about international borders differently.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, really, really interesting. And I think it's connected to all this dinosaur energy because
Oh,
it has been a while since we talked about the dinosaurs, but um, it's ages ago that I got download about like the dinosaurs were coming back. The energy of the dinosaurs was coming back to the earth to support us with this period in time. And what I saw them was like them like supersized, like stomping everywhere, so shaking things up, and it would show up as like earthquakes and stuff like that. But um, which we have been seeing, but it's all to like it's all very positive to help. But I think it's also to do with the land and the land borders and things like that, and shaking up
that
land
makes sense.
borders. And it's interesting because they had a big earthquake in Japan and there was a tsunami warning, but I don't think the tsunami happened.
Yeah, where it was
So
like 2 feet or something. It wasn't bad.
yeah, which I thought I was like that
Yeah.
seems about right for where we're at now
Yeah.
energetically in the world.
Mhm.
Yeah. So yeah, and also I was just reading about how like since the last one when they had the nuclear incident, like their response time and their planning and strategizing now is just like incredible. So they're like all over their
Yeah,
responses to that. And
that's good.
so that was one update.
Yeah.
Um, then just other stuff that it's just like it's just good news has been pouring in to my feed whenever I'm online. I'll see like Japan's developed a completely biodegradable plastic. It biodegrades in seawater, leaves no microplastic. It's like just completely earth safe. There's fungi that can eat the plastics. There's fungi that can eat the oil. There's there's maybe a cure for kidney disease
Oh, I hadn't seen that one.
and possibly something that could cure diabetes. There's a lot of health stuff. The kidney
Mm.
vaccination for cats that can extend their life, it prevents kidney disease and can extend their lifespan. Cats could live up to 30 years. That's supposed to be on the market in
Mhm.
2027. Again, a lot of Japan stuff because Japan, it was a Japanese scientist who was working. We've moved from China. I was getting a lot of good news from China. Now it's Japan. So there's a Japanese scientist who has developed the vaccine or just discovered it and developed it. And it was a team of Japanese scientists and engineers who created the biodegradable plastic as well.
Weren't some of those, or maybe I don't know, the some of the plastic that's dissolvable in seawater, wasn't it also like ended up being food or something? It was or, like not just dissolved, it would actually, I could be thinking about something else though. But anyway, regardless, lots of really good news. It's like hell yeah.
Broken down by bacteria, dissolves into its original
Oh, okay,
components.
never mind.
Bacteria further break down these components into environmentally safe
Okay,
substances. The
not food.
battery. What was the battery? I don't
I think it was in Germany. I feel like you maybe mentioned it last recording, where the battery or generates electricity from like humidity in the air
Oh
or something like
yeah,
that.
like all of these energy sources,
Yeah.
like there's you know, rainforests are coming back. The coral reef is showing areas that are recovering. The ozone layer is recovering
Oh, I hadn't
faster.
heard about that one.
Yeah,
Oh,
the ozone layer is recovering faster. Let me look it
cool.
up. Recovery timeline 2040, recovery over most of the world. 2045, recovery over the Arctic.
Hmm,
2066, recovery over the Antarctic. So the
sweet.
measures that were put in place are working.
Hmm.
I was just listening to another podcast where they were talking about AI and from a couple of different perspectives and mentioning that there's like transhumanists who are, and I'm not saying this is the correct interpretation of what transhumanists believes, but what they were saying was like they believe that AI will be the salvation of the earth and like solve the earth's problems. And then people who are critical of that are like, well, if we think that, we won't be motivated to solve the earth's problems ourselves. And it's like, they're already solved. We already
Yeah.
did it. Like literally, if you're reading the news that's not like plugged into one matrix, but it's plugged into like the future matrix. It's like
Mhm.
it's already happened. We don't have to worry about people running out of. People love to. They're people that where that's their creative will and like
Mhm.
their whole thing. And their method of creativity is inventing and coming up with new solutions and new methods, and that's not going to go away. Like such
Humans
a
love solving.
bizarre take that's like completely not grounded in anything, like not even grounded in any reality, let alone the current one.
Yeah. Yeah. We love solving problems and like coming up with out of the box solutions. I was listening to a podcast. I forget, might have been Jordan Crowder or something, and he was talking about how humans are just not it's like we can't really survive on this planet naturally. We have to, like, animals can do their thing, they can survive outside, and we have to do like we have to train animals who already can do things to help us, or like we invent a box this or whatever. It's like, and he was just, I don't, it wasn't like a we don't belong here kind of thing. That wasn't the point. He was just talking about like he was kind of theorizing about like where humanity consciousness wise maybe could have come from. Anyway, it was a whole bigger discussion, but it was just an interesting thing to think about how like human we like to tinker with stuff and make things and like come up with other solutions. So of course we're going to solve all these things. Like we like to do that. We make the problems too. Well, we can solve it.
Yeah, so just great. And then so many stories about young people, like teens or even like tweens,
Mhm.
coming up with these incredible, discoveries and inventions and stuff too. So
Yeah.
yeah, so those are some extremely good news updates. Shall we
Do some toast?
toast?
Yeah, I just realized I left my shit in the kitchen. I'll go back. I'll be right back.
Actually, in the meantime, I was gonna share an update that forgot about, which was I talked about um getting the message that prices were gonna go back down to 2002 to
Yeah.
expect prices to drop. And anyway, everything has been dropping right now. The prices of the rent, and also prices of like houses and condos in Toronto, which this is a big deal for this city, um, and dropping by a lot. And yeah, so that's really cool.
Yes. All
I don't
right.
know if people watching can see this, but I have a bloody eyeball from a
I
burst
was just
blood
gonna
vessel.
ask. I didn't know if you wanted to talk about it or what. I was like,
Yeah. And I feel like I sound a little low energy. I just have like the mildest version of the cold. So I'm a bit like, but I'm actually feeling fantastic.
good.
But my voice is kind of not reflecting how amazing I feel.
I understand. Totally get it. I've been there
Okay.
before. Yes.
I've got my green glass.
Got my little fox glass with some
Oh,
cow in
fox
it.
glass. Lovely.
Yes. Cheers. We are
Cheers,
really
Midnite
closing out
Diner.
a chapter. Closing that out, baby. Mm.
Um,
Yeah. Whew.
Anything you want to say about the Midnite Diner?
Man, it was what a chapter. I was just thinking last night actually how I lived here for 13 months. So this will be the divine feminine number 13. And just like
Wow.
right. And I've just been like thinking about, I mean, this place taught me so much, including that I am the Midnight Diner, so it's just like all so many breakthroughs and so many new directions. Like my life has completely turned around. Like it's just I'm like my mind is blown with all the things that have happened in the last few years, but like in particular, these last 13 months. It's just like masculine activations, feminine activations, like avatar changes. I got my hair cut a couple weeks ago and it's like super short and like I really like looking androgynous and it's like,
It looks
oh,
great.
does it? Okay,
Yeah.
because I was still kind of
I
like,
thought I wasn't sure, but I thought I was like, has it changed again? No, it looks great. Looks
yeah,
fantastic.
I finally, so I went for a trim and like a dye job or whatever, and I was like, can it be more? I was like, I think I need it to be shorter, something more obvious that my head shape, something. Where she was like, well, we could do the make it shorter here and here, and I was like, do it. And I was a little nervous at first. I was like, oh my God, that is so short. I've never had hair this short, but it just made me start thinking also about how like we've talked about the gender identities and like moving through some stuff, and I've explored my masculine energy and my feminine energy and like how they can kind of come together and like what do I even want to look like and all that, just everything. And I don't know that this is my final form, but guess what? It's just fun to try things. And that's another thing I ended up doing at this place. Thank you, Midnight Diner, because I tried so many things that I thought
You
I would
tried
literally
so
never do.
many things.
It's
You tried
crazy.
you packed in so much during your time there. It's like
Yeah,
wild.
this year has been
Do you
pretty
want to
crazy.
any highlight things that you wanted to mention that you tried?
Oh man. Well, I tried a roommate. That went well. But honestly, though, I was actually cheersing that whole situation the other day. I was just like, if that hadn't happened, if the crazy housemate hadn't happened, like that literally just prepared me for so many other things that came through this whole year and including future changes that I'm not sure, we'll get into those when they actually happen, but like I can
Mhm.
sense some of the new things coming and it's just like I've got my power back here and I've been working on it for a while, but this is the place that just like the rubber met the road, man. It was like get off the couch and do something about, kind of thing. And so it was a really tough year, but it was a year that like the toughness just like was showing me my own toughness. And here I was with all the programs like I'm a weak little, I can't do anything. You got a lot of power and you're not afraid to use it. That was the other. So it's just been a really, I don't know. And I got closer to my grandparents here, like just the ancestral spirits and the work I've been doing. They were just so present here. And they're never gonna leave me. It's not like when I go back to the pirate ship, I'm not gonna feel them anymore or whatever. It was just kind of like an opening of the portal to work with, ancestral energy even more than I already had been. And it was just, I don't know, it's just the peace I have felt out here and the contentment and the joy and the love. Like there, I mean, just man, there's so much good shit that's here. And whoever gets, I know my uncles are gonna have this place. I don't know if they're gonna sell it. I don't know what their plans are, but either way, I have just like encoded this place to make sure that anyone energetically connected to it also feels the love and the joy and the contentment and the peace, like anyone connected to this place. And so whoever ends up with it, like it's gonna be good. And so, it was just really magical times.
So
And
nice.
I don't know, I was warm and cozy and creative. My creativity was birthed here. Like I started making videos and shit. I mean, dang, the level ups are just I don't know. And I really I love living in a small town. Like I love this place in particular. And so even though I'm not going to be living here, I still built my I don't know. It's still my community. Like I can tell that, me and the border energy, I've had it my whole life kind of thing where just like Indiana, Ohio, like anywhere I've lived at any states are usually I'm at the border of it. And so um I'm not gonna be giving up that crossroads energy anytime soon. So like whatever is coming for me is just, and I think that's what I really love the most about what has happened. I'd already been working on surrender. I'd already been working on a lot of these things, but this is where I really just was like, okay, like I really am gonna deal with the things in front of me, and then and I get to rest when my soul has like finished working on whatever, and then so I just have been really learning how the flow of my own energy and my own soul works with my body and like how helps me move through the world and like what I even came here to do. Even though I don't have concrete answers and all the details I want and all that stuff, it's like I still know I'm doing my things. And that feels really good because for so long I just felt like I didn't have a purpose. And like I'm not saying this year was perfect with like, yes, I know what I'm doing, but like even in the uncertainty and even in the messiness of everything, I still have this like very, it's like my calm center, which I know is my soul. And yeah, the anxiety and all that stuff kind of seeps in sometimes or whatever, but it's just I feel more like a team with my body and my higher self than I ever have. And so just getting a nicer, not nicer, to me it feels nicer to have that broader perspective and that integration.
For sure.
And the comfort with like divine masculine energy and receiving help and receiving, all kinds of everything. And learning that I'm not alone, like I know we've talked about this on the podcast before, how it's like the loneliness, and both of us, have that loneliness thing. And I don't know. I'm glad that I chose to do a lot of things alone because I had such a low self. I was like, I didn't think I was good at anything. I didn't think I was capable of a whole lot of stuff. And this year is just like, you literally are. And it's not a hardship to like, I mean, my mind was making it a hardship. I was like, but this is so hard. Ah! And it was like, but you can do these things. And it gets easier and easier. And so I don't know. I'm obviously I've been processing a lot of grief and all the everything, but like the grief this time doesn't feel like it doesn't feel there is a weightiness to it, but the heaviness, I don't know if that makes it's just like it doesn't I was feeling very buoyant in amongst all the grief that I've been processing. And it just feels like a nice release of everything that I've been holding on to, like all the mind programs that are telling me that this is hard or I can't do this or whatever. It's like you can just set all of those down and you can feel supported and loved and, you know, capable and powerful. And so, yeah, cheers to the Midnite Diner, giving me myself back.
Huzzah.
Huzzah. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure that the it's like sometimes the feminine is the invisible and the masculine is the visible. So I'm sure the pirate ship played a huge role
Yeah.
too. And it's just like I was actually thinking about that because when it comes to like there's a lot of conversation about like women's invisible labor in the home and stuff.
Mm,
And I was like, that's such a reflection of um, the invisible labor of like the feminine or magnetic energy or whatever you want to
interesting.
call it. But it's so funny because that such a high percentage of that magnetic energy is through effortlessness and
Mhm.
women's invisible labor is actually so like we've
Yeah.
because we're geared towards viewing electric or quote unquote masculine um like visible activity as more valuable and more
Mhm.
so we're all trying to like prove our value by physically material reality doing things constantly.
Mhm.
um so anyway, it's just
That's a good point. I like that.
interesting. Yeah, no, that's awesome. I think you and I both went through a really big physical, like you said, shapeshift. I mean, I went through a massive shapeshift, but what I was noticing, especially with this haircut, is, and what you were talking about, like a bit more androgynous, is like I've always had an oval face, but right now I have a more like square jaw
Yeah.
face for the like I've never had that face before. And
Interesting.
you as well, it looks a bit more so there's like that like
Yeah.
traditional masculine kind of vibe
Yeah.
to our faces at the moment.
It's fun. I'm just watching at this point. I'm like, I've been working on a couple of human design reports for my friend and her kids, and I just keep thinking about how the mind is supposed to be the passenger. It's called passenger consciousness in human design terms. And so we always try to make decisions with the mind, but it's literally its only job is supposed to be to observe and contextualize the movie that is your life and watch as your body follows its own wisdom and moves through these things and your higher self, all this. It's just like, yeah, real. And I feel like I've kind of embraced that a lot more this year too, where I'm just like, wow, I'm noticing what is happening, even as I'm doing it. It's like my conscious mind isn't like, doesn't have anything to say about it. It's like, what are you, my mind is asking my body's like, what are you doing right now? And the body's like, I'm going to do this. It's like, okay, I just watch it and record it.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Sorry,
You're
I
good.
got distracted because there's like a weird Zoom notification, and I don't know if 1 minute we're going to suddenly be cut off, but we may not be. But anyway, something wonky may have happened
Figure it
with
out.
me setting up the Zoom meeting. So sorry, but yes, or what I was told for my human design was my mind is supposed to be creating in creative space, but again, not linked to decision making, but just like coming up with like creative ideas and stuff like that.
Yeah, the mind is definitely an awesome tool. We've just been using it in a way that like is more, it's just not always in its own little function. It's just fun to watch as I, you know, learn more about it. And yeah, the mind is a good tool. Because for a while I was like, oh, the mind is terrible. It's my enemy. I blah blah blah. No, it's not what happens. Mind is useful when it's in its place. So, ooh, I've had like 3 sips and I'm like, hmm, I'm drinking. What are you drinking? I'm drinking mezcal.
I'm only drinking water. Um,
That's good.
I wasn't quite able to align it with a time where I had like a hot cocoa or something like that on the go. I've been drinking, this is very new in my reintegration of foods. I've been drinking hot cocos, but also um, hot oat milk with cardamom and rose petals and honey.
Oh my God. Yum.
It's
As soon as you
so
said hot
nice.
milk, I was like, yes. Oh, and the spices.
Hmm.
Hell yeah.
Sorry, I tried to mute while I chewed something, and I
You're
hope I
okay.
was successful.
It's okay.
Um, but yeah, you've had like a very, very awesome journey with that space. Um, Truly incredible. So much happened. I was just thinking about this year. I mean, I feel like this year has been one of the most creative of my life. Like I did so much art and crafts and like stuff with nature and
Hmm.
starting in the summer onward, but like and then also going back to drawing and um trying pastels and taking printmaking classes and doing sculpture and pottery and stuff. And now I just started mosaics. I got
You started one?
yeah, so yeah, I got like I've been having it's really fun too. I feel like I've been having a real life advent calendar this year because there's been like a really nice kind of like little treat or big treat surprise every day. Um,
Awesome.
Including of course my birthday, which was very nice. But part of that has been finding people giving away things for free on Facebook Marketplace that live in my neighborhood. And so yeah, I got this beautiful colored mosaic glass that was like last week. You and I were chatting when it was delivered, and it's just jars upon jars of it. And um, I just started working with it yesterday, and then I had another epiphany because broken glass has always shown up for me as it means like shattering the confines or like breaking through and being free and stuff. And it's funny now, like I'm after a year where I feel like I saw different parts of my own power. My boundaries became much, much, much firmer. I've shed literally things that have died in me that I died. I died. I was dead for a while, like really physically. Um, and so that was shed a lot of stuff, but have really been feeling it over the past month, especially just like old old programs just not mattering anymore, not holding the same thing power over me that they used to, but to be like making art out of broken glass. I was like, oh, this is all broken glass. I'm like, I have literal jars and jars of broken glass. Like,
Yeah.
as always, it's very on the nose with me, but super, super fun and to play with. And of course, I'm doing it in my own wonky DIY ADD way because I didn't have the proper stuff, but I bought some, like, I bought a little kintsugi kit, a cheap kintsugi kit. So kintsugi, again, going back to Japan, is a Japanese art of you. If you have ceramics, and they crack or have a chip or whatever, you fill it in with gold to like, and it so it makes it stronger and even more beautiful. And it's a metaphor. But so I had gotten that for a few ceramic things, and um, it's like an epoxy with these little powders and stuff. So then I was like, I'm just going to use that to make the mosaic. It's like, I don't know if it's actually that well suited for glass or whatever, but I was just like, we'll see.
Try it out.
Yeah. So that's been that. I just started that yesterday. It's been really fun. And um, yeah, just the most, well, it's hard to say the most transformative year because 2019 was pretty fucking crazy. Um, 2019 into 2020 was like bonkers, bonkers, bonkers. But there was so much integration. So it was so much yo-yoing back and forth. And things feel really integrated now. And also that I'm just done. I'm just done and tired. And I'm like, I'm done with integrated. I can't do more integrated.
Yeah.
It's like, it's got to be even keel. Mm-hmm. But yeah, just yeah, things have been moving along in really interesting ways. And we finally, so if I talked about this, it was ages ago, but Mike, my partner, went to was sent to a boarding school for high school that was like, it's a bit like, I mean, I know that show Wayward. Mae Martin. Mae Martin is a Canadian comedian, and has also made another show called Feel Good and has been on Taskmaster because they also have like a lot of British ancestry and stuff, and they're very funny. I find them very, very witty and funny, and they're also quite woo. But they made a new show that like just skyrocketed on Netflix called Wayward, and it's about a rehabilitative school for wayward teens in like it's like set in like the early 2000s, I believe, and it's about like how horrific and culty and like abusive and stuff. So this one wasn't set as a rehab, but he was sent there for rehabilitative purposes because of the era. But it was a school in Ontario, Canada, but it was established by a Southern evangelist, like culty Baptist or evangelist, but I forget what they're called, preacher. Mm-hmm. And there was a huge class action lawsuit, like multi-million, against the school, you know, like 20 years after the fact because of everything that went down there. So you can imagine, I'm not going to get into it, it was very dark, but you can imagine the types of things. And Mike was part of the class action, and he just received his check, which was like very unexpected. And also it went back and forth a million times about how much we were going to be getting. And like over the past couple of months, Mike had been like, oh, I don't think we're getting anything much really. And I was like, okay. And then it was for the exact amount that he'd been promised initially, which is like It was $24,000, which is really, really massive and helpful and like pivotty for our life.
Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
and so feeling very, very grateful for that as well. And
Hell yeah.
it's like, you know, as we move from karma to post karma, I keep wanting to find a term for post karma because I don't want to keep saying the karma part and like keep bringing that in, even though it's like ultimately they are each other. So whatever, there's no difference. But whatever it is, the new era, it's like don't skip your karmic rewards though. Don't
Yeah.
skip all your karmic rewards
Good point.
when you shift out. Like allow those to come in, and I feel like they've been coming in a big way this year.
Yeah.
Because it's karma's not all about eating shit.
Good point. Yeah. Hear that stuff. Need to hear that.
Yeah, so that was huge. That just happened earlier this week, and
That's awesome.
it was classic. Like us, he was like, I did it on the phone, or he was like, I'm scared for you to open to see like how much. He's like, he had us like down to 1,000 in his head that we were
Oh,
getting. And I was like, I had gotten to the point with it where I was like, I don't care. It's going to be fine no matter what. It's going to just be a signal of like
more.
abundance and more is coming. And then I opened it and I was like, nope.
Yeah. Amazing.
um,
That's really cool. Well deserved faux show.
yeah. Um, there's so many also just cool things happening. Uh, I feel there's something going on. Like I think I talked about this. I did a big energetic healing on my mom's side of the family who are so like to greater or less extents extremely connected to Israel. Um, and I think I did talk about it, how like the most important, like the most connected and valuable thing for me as well in the healing was just at the end I was just as everybody left like I brought them all into my heart space, all the family, and as they left I just gave them a hug of like no matter where they were at with their feelings and views, and I was just like I get it, I understand, I get it, I understand, I get it. And it was just I felt the energy of that just like
Wow.
just non-judgment love, like it's such a powerful
Yeah.
energy. And then um since then I was kind of see I was like I know it takes time and ripple out and I know we're going to see effects of it, but I also try to detach. It's like as much as I can because it's like you can't, otherwise you're just getting into a codependent cycle with your stuff, with your energy work and with other people. um but I just realized today, my mom's sometimes I tune out my mom's parts of my mom's stories because I have trouble listening with the ADHD, and so I miss important things. So I knew she used to do a lot of refugee work back in the day, um, and I knew she was involved in bringing. She was trying to get someone new to have an opportunity to come speak somewhere in Quebec so that then he would that would give him an opportunity to like stay safely in Quebec. But what I didn't realize was that he's from Gaza, he's Palestinian. And it's
Oh,
all through my uncle. So my uncle is like lived was went to, after his dad died, after their dad died, he was like 14 and he went to live in Israel with his uncle and lived there for years and served in the army, and still feels really tied, but is also like, I think has grown increasingly and increasingly critical of um, the genocide. And yeah, anyway, it was just really interesting. But he's also like he's just like a major pivot, like a community. He's like a vector or something. He's playing this role because he's he was the editor-in-chief of the Jewish Daily Telegraph in the United States. So he was like a processor for like all Jewish news and stuff.
Whoa.
Yeah, in Washington. And he just retired like last year. Um, and so I just feel like energetically he was playing a big part
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
And I mean, not to mention my relatives in Israel. Like, I have a relative who is, I have uh, the my mom's cousin's daughter. So I forget what that is, what kind of cousin that is to me, but she's like a superstar. She's like the main superstar of Israel. She's like huge. So she has a really big voice, and she's best like her best one of her best friends is Gal Gadot and stuff. So she has a big voice as
Whoa.
well. So I know that she's playing a role, or may play an interesting role
Hmm.
with what she chooses to speak out about and stuff. Um,
Interesting.
yeah. Oh, there was something else that came up around Israel that I wanted to mention. And Jews. Oh, it's just crazy. There's only 15 million Jews in the world, and 10 million of them are Israel. So there's only 5 million Jews in all of the rest of the world.
I
And
didn't.
so anyway, I really do think that the Jews are this soul group, and I think they're very connected to the Orion light that just came in to like really go deep into the extremes of polarity to like play both sides and just like really be part of this ascension.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying they're the only, but I'm just like, it's crazy the actual space they take up. Like,
Mhm.
everyone on the planet knows about Jews, but like, you're talking about a country of 10 million and then 5 million other people like scattered across the globe and mainly in, you know, the US and Canada. It's like, it's just like, even in the US, when you think of how many like, like that they take these prominent roles, like Epstein. Ram Dass is Jewish, big spiritual figure. A huge amount of people in that part of that spiritual movement are Jews. Um, people in politics and entertainment. It's just like,
Mhm.
it is quite crazy. Like, for the amount, it's like how visible, I guess,
Yeah.
visible they are in like different sectors and stuff. And yeah,
Good point.
yeah. Anyway, I mean, there's not Jewishness is nothing. We're all everything. It's like everything. It's like a label. But it was just really hitting me. I was like, what the fuck? It's like,
What the
yeah, and like big political activists too. Yeah, uh, musicians, Bob Dylan,
John Stewart.
John Stewart, exactly. Like, just
I love John Stewart.
yeah. Anyway, enough about Jews. This is the period where I have to talk about Jewishness and Jews a lot. Apparently, I've been a rabbi in different lifetimes, and definitely a Jewish mystic in others.
I can totally see you being a rabbi. Oh my
But
gosh.
yeah, I have memories, like I have like sense memories of being a rabbi with my friend Rebecca, and like we
Cool.
just loved like talking over different ideas and getting into it and stuff.
Yeah, man.
Also, a lot of my friends turned out to have a little bit of Jewish ancestry, like in their like surprising Jewish ancestry in their past.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
We're all here. Keep bringing that Orion light. Just like let's resolve all these storylines. I'll cheers to the Orion light energy.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's important to acknowledge that includes people like Epstein, people like Harvey Weinstein,
Yeah.
you know, people like Netanyahu,
Yep.
playing those extremely polarized villain roles.
Yeah. I was just thinking, because I've been watching Candace Owens' show, and I know she's very, you people either love her or hate her, and I'm really enjoying all the coverage, but um I just keep thinking how obvious, like cartoonishly obvious. I mean, and we talked about this. We talked about this in the You Are Safe episode, and we talked about it probably even before that. I don't know, but I remember the You Are Safe episode, and it was just, we were just talking about how, like, this is the time period where everything is cartoonishly, like, obvious, cartoonishly painful, cartoonishly whatever it needs to be, cartoon villains, where half the time I'm looking at these things, like, all the stuff that's been happening, and it's like, that was such a, like, the fumbles that are happening, I feel I just feel like are purposely being thrown. So it's like, can you see it now? Can you see it now? Just like getting, just devolving into being like, we're basically announcing now what we're doing, it's like, and so it just has to be this obvious and this bad so that everybody can see it, including the most asleep, the densest, whatever. And again, we know there's no judgment on the densest part because we've all been the densest part. Somebody's got to play the dense. But even those dense people need to see what the fuck is going on so that we can move past it and like become something different. So if you're noticing, like, how are these people getting away with like these dumb moves? It has to just be. I feel like every day I'm like, this is the dumbest timeline. Oh my God. This is the stupidest. I'm like, so that has actually helped me enjoy the past, I don't know, even this year or whatever, but definitely the past few months where it has felt the hardest or some of the hardest times. I'm just like, yes, it's getting so obvious. Everyone's seeing it, and we can finally just, so I just kind of watch everything like just like a show. I'm like, this is the awakening show, and I get to be in my little cocoon. I am not apparently ready to come out yet, which is fine. I know that the timing is right for everybody at the right time, but when I do emerge from this and am ready to like take on whatever it is this next chapter is bringing me, it's like, okay, I'm like super ready for it now because I see what everybody else is processing. And um yeah, I actually just got another Joan of Arc sync too. And I don't know if we've talked about,
Interesting.
feel like we talked about this maybe back when I was living in Montana or something. And I had that, oh yeah, I had that massage therapist woman who also did energy work. And she was talking about how Joan of Arc was coming through, I don't know, that fall or something. I feel like it was the fall I moved back to the pirate ship back in, what was that, 2022 or something. And I never really picked up on Joan of Arc energy, although I just kind of assumed she was kind of out there like working with people or whatever. This time period, like this fall, because the massage therapist, she was like talking about how it was fall of 2022 or whatever. And this fall has felt like a Joan of Arc energy. Like she came through, and it was specifically about betrayal too, which I thought was interesting because that's what the massage therapist had talked about. She was like, Joan of Arc is coming through to help us with um, betrayal energy. And I was processing something just a few days ago, actually. I felt I had this, image or whatever of me removing big rusted metal contraption from like, there was like a spike in my shoulder and it kind of came down my chest. And anyway, I was just like removing all this stuff. And I was like, oh, and then while that was happening, I could feel that it was betrayal energy, and I saw myself, and I'm not saying I was Joan of Arc. I'm just saying like at least her energy was there while I was seeing all these visions, and I was this woman with short, close cropped blonde hair. And I was like, it was dark and stormy day, and I was like it was like a big battlefield or something, and I was just like crying. It was just like about betrayal or whatever, but it was like a release of all that stuff. And also this contraption was related to the three prongs of major things I've been working on, like scarcity and fear of using my voice, being in my full power. And then the third one was something I can't remember. Anyway, there was like a couple different things going on with this whole thing. So anyway, yeah, Joan of Arc, in case anyone else is getting um sinks around that. You're not the only one. I don't know if it's come up for you or not, but I was gonna ask you about it. So,
No, Joan of Arc hasn't come up for me, but she's definitely one of those open avatar people
yeah,
where so you definitely could have experienced
maybe.
a lifetime as Joan of Arc. That's really interesting though.
Yeah, it felt very powerful, even though it sounds like it's a bad thing, like, oh, processing betrayal. It was like, because that's what I was realizing that this Midnight Diner experience, that's what triggered, like, technic, whatever, however you want to view this. As soon as it happened, I started to feel that it was like a final betrayal kind of thing. And I don't know if we've talked about this on the podcast, but I know we've at least talked about it together where we've been at different points of time we've been processing some of this betrayal stuff and I remember you, like one of our mutual friends, you're like, oh yeah, and I remember when they betrayed me and then I betrayed them in this lifetime. It was just kind of like showing me that we all betray everybody. It's just like we're playing roles. It's just like, yeah, don't hold on to the fact that like a friend of yours now but in a past life betrayed you. It's like, yeah, we were all doing. So for me, this was like I could feel that this was the final act of betrayal that I was processing because like my mother gave me up. Like she allowed this to happen where she's like, yes, just take the property my daughter's living on and whatever. So you can see it in all kinds of different ways because obviously I know this was tied to the final avatar test and all this stuff. So I have that like zoomed out view of it all, which I've already talked about, but like I could feel also that this was a trigger to feel it was like one last betrayal, major betrayal. And then you let that go forever. You're just like, this is done. And so I've been kind of, it was like a whisper in the back of my mind. But then when I saw the energy work with like removing this contraption and Joan of Arc, I was like, ah, okay. Yeah, this is for, and then I just cry a lot and let it flush out of the system. So it's really nice to feel like that door is closing. Again, I will cheers. Cheers to that because now we get to keep the nice things. Now there is no looking, just you don't have to look back. Like it's all fresh starts from here on out.
That's very interesting. I mean, I think the first part of my year was playing. I don't know if it was betrayal, but it was like,
I mean, that makes sense. Betrayal.
yeah, it was like
I mean, it's a lot, but
for me, things are very self. So it was like a self thing. It was like feeling betrayed by myself.
by your body or something. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was definitely um a a big one. And it's just really interesting now to be getting to the point where like it's just like even like in the summer I was still so traumatized and so hurt and so
Mhm.
scared that about by it and stuff. So I just was and I just it just um like that stuff has just been dropping off me the past couple of months and especially this month just dropping away finally and it just yeah I just feel so much lighter and it really feels like a dream like it just doesn't even feel it just feels like a dream I had that was like really bad dream that I was in for a while but it's like you can just be like that was just a dream like was just don't even remember that dream like you can there's nothing to hold on to from that dream just I
Nothing.
mean
Yeah. Nothing to hold on to.
uh I would say I probably discovered an extreme physical toughness within myself of being
Yeah.
able to withstand
Mhm.
things.
Yeah.
But I don't I like that's fine, but also like who needs to be doing that? Who needs that? You know, like that's not the future that I'm living in isn't one where I have a use or a purpose for extreme ability to withstand hardship, deprivation, and suffering
Yeah.
and like torture. So just it's a dream. Let it be a dream that just
It makes me think of the Wheel of Time series with the Aiel, and they're like, when someone dies, they're like, oh, they woke from the dream. It's like, yeah, we're just going to a different dream.
Yeah, I do feel, I mean, the Lionsgate portal this year was so psychedelic. It was so like, um, I feel like, as I said, it felt like it extended more like into just reality, like more of it anchored in into reality than in previous years, like steadily, like just like, no, this is just now realities at this level of psychedelic fluidity now. But I do feel that we're going to have another psychedelic period, like end of January into end of, oh, I just said end of January. Maybe it's more end of January into something. I don't know. Maybe March. That might be another like Lionsgate type
I,
weirdness.
yeah, I was thinking Easter because that's when the Hopi prophecy talks about a little bit with the blue star Kachina being probably Three Eye Atlas and I don't know, maybe there's two stars or what one is Three Eye Atlas and one is the sun or something. And when they rise over the pyramid or something, that's when the halls of Amenti open or something. Not that the
Oh,
Hopi
okay.
prophecy
That's
says like,
interesting.
yeah, not that the Hopi prophecy references halls of Amenti, but they reference this as a big time period where the secrets of humanity are revealed or something like that. So, and it feels like the halls of Amenti are like what Atlantean records and stuff like the where
Oh,
humanity.
cool.
So, I don't, we'll see what actually happens, but I think that that's definitely
Yeah,
coming.
that makes sense. And also Persian New Year slash like spring equinox is always like a portal unto itself, a weird one,
Yeah.
as well. Um,
Yeah.
and I also, this is another, this ties in with what we're both talking about, but I want to say this because I just think it's so important for people to never be afraid to feel how big they are. So I always have synchronicities matching up with my life that are extremely like on a big scale. So I encourage everybody's having them, but they're not looking for them and they're kind of ignoring them or not seeing them. So I encourage you to notice these synchronicities. But so we've been talking about like the movement where like what's going on with our solar system, where it was like suddenly the earth was in a black hole, like our galaxy was in a black hole. All of a sudden we had that announcement, and that was just like a few weeks after I'd had this dream that we were all moving into a black hole. And I felt like it was a big void energy. And then we had the announcement that, what was the other one? It was a black hole.
The
And
plasma fire or something. Let me,
yeah, but there was something
oh,
between that.
something between that.
The Oh, it was like we were inside a black hole, and then it was like we were inside a void.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then it was like, yeah, I'm moving, definitely moving through a void period. And then it was like, oh, actually, or not actually, but also our solar system is in this protective bubble from all the cosmic debris and stuff. And it was like, okay. And then I found out it was like, oh, that like that thing that's protecting our solar system is like this like massive wall of fire plasma that's like a crazy temperature. And that felt like very in sync with like my boundaries, feeling like my boundaries were much firmer around things
Yeah.
of like what I will and won't tolerate in my reality and stuff. Anyway,
Yeah.
but it's also very, it just was interesting too with the earth. It was like went from kind of like, whoa, like a black hole, oh, a void, and then it was like, oh, a protective bubble, a super protected bubble. It's like toasty warm.
Right?
It's really nice for uh the earth. So I encourage everybody else to see how that applies to their past few months trajectory and like um feel how that universal thing is like actually a mirror of your own experience as well.
Hmm. Yeah. I really do love having the boundaries I have now because like man, I that was a huge lesson for me too. Speaking of things like new things, like I didn't know what boundaries were growing up. Like I know we've talked some about our childhoods on this podcast in previous episodes, but like I just didn't have any. And so this year, like unfucking that this year has been like, whoa. And so, obviously that was a little, whew, that was a little crunchy, but oh my God, now I can just breathe.
Yeah.
Okay, this is how and you know, just getting people out of my life that just I was giving anyway. It's been very nice to have the boundary firming up. And I do
That's
feel protected
wonderful.
because of that. It's like I just feel like nobody can get in this energy field right now. And I don't have to do anything. I literally it's like it's not doesn't take any work to keep these boundaries up. It's just like you you let it do its thing and if you're the one who invites them in, like then you rethink it. But it's just like I'm not worried about anything.
I feel like it's still anchoring in for me and it's just going to get stronger and stronger. So I feel like I'm like,
That's
that's how I move through things though. It's never like snap of the
no, me
fingers,
too.
one thing to the, I'm always like a very gradual, like inch my way
Me
through.
too.
So I feel like, yeah, I'm like, but that's awesome. That's really awesome. I'm so happy for you. And I'm so happy for the adventures that you're going to have to come. And
Yeah.
we're just running out of our Zoom time, our free
Oh
Zoom
yeah.
time.
Okay.
But oh, I also wanted to say this was way back when, but when you first started speaking about your journey, you said new directions. And I always, always hear that as nude erections, always. And I say it all the time. I'm like, nude erections. So I have to put that out there. Um,
I love that.
oh, and also, um, I'm waiting for my kitty adoption to come through. I put in an
I was gonna,
application and
okay.
I'm waiting for them to confirm a time for a call now.
Okay.
So
Got the update. Very nice.
yeah, so Christmas kitty
Christmas
is
Eve.
on her way. Um, and yeah, guys, so look out for that good news, like keep your eyes peeled for the not peeled, ugh, so gross. Keep your ears perked for the good news that's coming through the pipeline. And
Only there.
yeah, love
No.
you lots, space kitties.
Cheers.
Cheers. But oh yeah, and please email us if you want at spacecatshappyhour@gmail.com. You can watch our videos on Spotify or YouTube and listen to us wherever. Please give us a nice high rating so we reach more listeners. Thank you. Bye.